All right, all right, all right. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. We got to spend some time out in the pool again with the family, 2 weekends in a row, so that was fantastic for the kiddos. But Cal, how about you? How was your weekend, man? Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Tonight my son wanted to read a book about Christmas, and so we we got to talk about that, which was great. Oh, Adam is saying that he can't hear you, which is interesting because I can hear you. Hang on, let me check this. I'll pull the stream up. We'll see. Maybe Adam, something on Adam's end. I don't know if he can hear me though. That's kind of true, true. You're probably not wrong. Let me, which is interesting because I can hear you. Okay, so I can hear me. Hang on, let me check this. I'll pull the stream up. We'll see. Maybe Adam, something on Adam's end. I don't know if he can hear me though. That's kind of. Oh yeah, that's true. I can't hear you on stream either. True. Interesting. Okay. All right, Adam. Thanks. Let's see. Tom says your mic's off like your rebuild as well, which is, which is I guess kind of fair. Let's see. What would have happened that would have caused your? Let's see.
Everything looks okay input output wise for me. And
Yeah,
I can hear myself.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a setting on my end. Hold on, I gotta pull the stream back up here. This is gonna be so for people watching. You're gonna hate this because you're gonna hear me twice and all sorts of stuff.
Everything looks okay input output wise for me.
Did it work?
There we go. I got you. I think I
Oh
got
my
you now.
goodness.
I think we're good. Okay, but Adam and Tom, I at least know you're here. So if one of you two could just, all right. Adam says we're good. There we go.
Fantastic.
Something I changed the setting and now we're good. So
Listen, it didn't matter what I said. It doesn't really matter. So
It's probably
we'll just
true.
skip that whole thing.
that's probably true. That's probably true. You're not wrong there. All right, well let's get into week 15. Had some good stuff obviously going on this week. As you said, as you said, only I heard, but obviously getting into All-Star week. Summer's kind of winding down a little bit, which is kind of unfortunate, but I shouldn't say winding down. We're in the middle of summer, which means
Yeah, but
we're over the hill, right?
This is the All-Star break is the equinox, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like scientifically it's not the case, but for me it is. That's where it starts to get real sad boy hours.
Well,
But
I mean, you're kind of in the same boat as me. Maybe not as much, but like fall Minnesota is like prime weather, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
It is like I would put it up against any other weather anywhere in the country, any other time of year. It is.
we're fortunate to go up to Duluth in the fall.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's
absolutely,
right.
it was
That's
freaking
right.
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
right. So
it rocks.
I'm excited for it. I love summer too. My daughter's learning to golf, all this kind of stuff. So it's
Nice.
great. I'm down with summer, but I don't mind fall either. So
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
good times ahead.
so week 15 here. We actually first thing that I want to talk about is I want to go into the power rankings and give Dylan some props because the power rankings now finally he got it to work have the up and down changes from week to week. So if you look from last week, they don't show in the top three. I don't know if that's a glitch or what. I'll talk to Dylan. I'm sure he'll have something else or have something to say about it. But yeah, so we finally got like the changes, which is great. So I'm going to talk about that. That's kind of my first point here. I finally get to do my biggest movers of the week that I haven't been able to do in like a year. So the biggest movers this week, Padres moved up 5, which I don't know about you, but like it feels like they are a very under the radar team this year that now at this point is basically dominating their division. I would assume winning their division. I don't know if they're going to be a playoff threat or not. I haven't really looked at Greg's team a whole heck of a lot, to be honest with you. So them being at number 7 is kind of crazy to me. No.
100%. I mean, because we were still toying with the idea of will the Giants and Dodgers still make a push for it, and
Yeah.
they've completely fallen off. And we crowned the Padres last week basically as being the West winners. But I mean, you look at the Padres team. I mean, it made a few moves towards after the dump date, but it wasn't anything
Nothing
massive.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if this team is just getting a little healthier. It's just getting better overall. Finally hitting a stride. Honestly, they do have decent pitching depth. That if you go through it, it's not elite pitching by any means. And we're talking like Bryce Elder, Adrian Hauser, Jose Soriano. These are not great names, but
Yeah.
they do get innings, which is kind of the name of the game. And also some long relievers scattered throughout, which it's a huge way to game the system.
Yeah, I mean, he has one bat over 3 points per game, which is Mookie. And
I mean,
Mookie's
you just don't see that with playoff teams.
And he's a 3-2. Yeah, I mean, and everyone else, for what it's worth, I shouldn't say everyone, but almost everyone else is a 2 point per game player. So like that's at least good. But yeah, I mean that doesn't stick out. Yeah, I mean, and you said pitching wise, Hauser's obviously having like a career year apparently. Same with Boyd at 18, almost 19 points a game for Boyd. Like, geez. So yeah, I mean, obviously having those two overperform is helpful. Whether that continues, who knows? But I mean,
I don't know if the offense is
Steele
just
down there too.
hitting stride, or if it's just being it's streaky right now, where it's he's finally getting it in the positive. But I don't know how far you can go with an offense that kind of rickety. Because when I bought, I realized like I need to have at least 5 guys with over 3 per game.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I'm even looking like points against, and he's middle of the pack. So it's not like he's obviously winning games because of how his team is playing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it might just be right time, right teams.
Yeah.
Not totally sure what the recipe is there for the Padres, but yeah, they seem to have pretty much clinched the West at this point. I don't think anyone's even trying to take them down.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing for my third point that I won't talk about yet. But one interesting thing I was just going through and clicking points for, points against. Mm-hmm. Really interesting. All right, if you had to guess without looking, who do you think the number 1 team in the league is in points against? So who's had the most points scored against them this year?
I feel like I've seen this. Cubs?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Which is
I feel like I've seen
one.
This
That's crazy. 2, like that makes me feel like Frank's got a team.
Yeah.
Because John is in 3rd as well. But like that really makes me feel like Frank might be onto something in what he has claimed to be maybe his like last high end year. He might be onto something. So that's crazy. But anyway, my second point of this for the power rankings, the biggest drop was the Yankees dropping 5. They're only down to number 10 now. Oh darn. Still top 10. My assumption is they didn't have a great week last week. I guess I didn't even look. But I'm assuming they didn't win any games last week. And it doesn't really matter. They're going to win the AL East anyway. But that was
the Yankees,
the biggest fall.
I think had an okay week. It wasn't. Let me just take a little gander here. I think they scored like over 300, which I mean that should
good.
Get you a couple wins. Let me just verify that though. I don't want to speak out of turn here.
Up as well. If I can get it to load.
I know. Okay, yeah, 326 points, but they played the Giants and the Reds, which is going to hurt your opponents and beat the Mariners. So they actually went 3-0 and still dropped the 5 spots.
Yeah, which is that. I mean, again, shows you the power of strength of schedule, right? Shows you the power of being hot and cold.
I'll piggyback off that point with the strength of schedule because on my list I had the Pirates going 0-3. They've only gone down 1 spot after going 0-3, and it was 10. A horrendous week. 250 points versus NL Central that put up at minimum 324 points. Cubs putting up 380 and Cardinals putting up 373. That's a horrible week to begin with. But when Duke kind of puts out a crapper every week like that, it's not any better. So
no.
I'm very surprised that the opponents were so good. It pretty much didn't even affect Duke at all in power rankings.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. And I think too, going back to the points scored and points against this year. he has the least amount of points scored of the 4 NL Central teams that are in the playoffs now, which I think is interesting, right? Because I think in the past, even though his record, he may have some losses because he had some bad luck or whatever it was, he was still scoring at a very high rate, right? He might have been like just below Jeff, but now he's below Frank, he's below Zach, so leads you to believe is it going to be something where he maybe struggles in the playoffs? This is maybe the year of the Pirates exiting in the first round.
No, I think two things. One, Duke will have some voodoo dolls in short order for these teams, but also I feel like he's lurking in the shadows for the market to just dry up, and he comes in and gives a 3rd round pick for Freddie Freeman or Soto, and just absolutely just cleans house with everybody again. I don't know. It just seems like he's been way too quiet for a team that's just on the precipice of being super good. So I don't really know. He has so much money sitting around. How do you not attack with that? I don't know. So I would be surprised if nothing happens or that team stays the same come playoff time.
That's fair. That definitely is fair. You want to talk on your second point, because then I'll kind of go into my last point off of that.
Yeah, of course. Now I can actually be I can actually watch the West instead of being very bitter and vindictive. But it looks like the A's had a huge week. I feel like we talked about them last week of they needed to. This is trying to stave off 2 teams gunning for them. Yep. And it looks like they did. They took down the Rangers and the Mariners and get now a 2-game lead in the West. So whether or not they can capitalize on that after kind of a middling few weeks after the dump, it's nice to get some divisional wins against 2 teams that have been really getting hot recently. So that was huge.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And to that point, my kind of last point was just looking at divisions in general. And are there only a couple divisions that are even left up for grabs? The Central between Brendan and John, Royals, Tigers, obviously close. Brendan's got a 2-game lead thanks to John having an unfortunate matchup against Frank last week. That was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
But then in the West, as you just talked about, I can pull us back up here. Obviously, A's have 2-game lead over the Mariners and Rangers. That'll be a fun one to watch simply because I think, if I looked correctly, I think all 3 of those teams are in the playoffs because it's Royals, Tigers, Yankees, and that 3. So then those 3 are still in the playoffs. So then the last 2 spots are between I think it's the White Sox and White Sox and Guardians have it right now. Guardians are 20 and 25. Who's next closest to them? Tampa's got 17 wins, so they're 3 behind.
I have 16 wins.
Houston 17, 3 behind, so you're 4 behind. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, there's teams that obviously can still make it, potentially.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but let's see. Rays and Astros run that list, which, I mean, they've sold. So, totally. And, of course, I've sold. And I had an all-time bad week. So, I almost lost to the Reds, which was a real tough one. That's a real wake-up call. It's like, man, I was really propped up by nothing, huh?
Right.
This was a real house of cards waiting to fall. But that's all right, though. What are you going to do?
It is what it is, right? Not a whole lot you can do. All right. Anything else you got for this?
No, we got so many trades to get into.
Great. We do. We got a bunch of trades. So
yes.
I'm not going to take credit for this. Cal named this past week Dump 2.0. Just because of the number of trades, right? Not necessarily I guess the trades were pretty high quality too, but so I'm going to go down. I'm going to start at the bottom. So we're going to start on Monday. First trade we're going to take a look at here are the Nationals and White Sox trade. This was a big one.
Yeah.
With some big names. My highlights, obviously, Tatis on one side going to the Nationals, a first-round pick going to the Nationals. I guess, if you're a fan of Drew Jones, obviously Senga as well. Some pretty big names going to the Nationals, I think. And then on the other side, you had Urseg going to the White Sox, Schwelly, which is kind of, the big return, so to speak, to the White Sox. And then what I would assume are 3 just fill-ins for Tom in Chicago. I don't know that he's going to be keeping any of them. Maybe Pham. I'm not sure how Pham's doing. And then Lynn, I'm assuming, was just kind of a decent spec to throw in there. So What are your thoughts on that?
I don't get it for the Nationals. I mean, I understand you're getting Tatis, but you're already so good as it is. To then, I guess, bargain the future with that amazing Swellenbach contract, which I mean, I think it's biased because I love Spencer Swellenbach. I think he's a phenomenal pitcher. I think this dude has these stuff. When I say it's healthy, I don't know. The Braves pitcher seem to just break every year, but Swellenbach has this stuff to be like Cy Young caliber. So. Sure. I absolutely I have a future on him right now that's bust because of how much I believe in this guy. So to give up that $3 2040 is that's a tough one to sell to me. Look, I know you're getting Tatis. It's hard to knock that at all. But he also, from what I'm seeing, just plays one position, which your little handcuff is $40. He's a first, he's probably capable, I'd imagine, around there. If he, I don't know, would you keep him at 40? It feels borderline. It feels fair to keep him. It's a lot.
Probably not, because you can probably get him for that in the auction, right?
Yeah. That was me. That was me being like, I guess, nice. Like it seems like a rental, and giving up Schwellenbach for a rental that's a hard one.
Well, here's my I'll say counter to that, and this is not. This is literally just for us to talk. So for me, just face value, literally looking at names, stuff, going back and forth between teams, I would take the National side 10 out of 10 times. Because obviously Tatis is a huge get for them this year, right? The Senga pickup is big for them this year. And then you get a first-round pick, too. And even though, it's the Phillies, so it's probably a late first-round pick, but they are stock out of picks now. They traded all their picks away, essentially. So they got something decent packed. So I essentially say that for Schwellenbach. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. They're competing this year. Makes sense.
Yep.
Now, on the opposite side of that, digging a little deeper, I was just looking at the Nationals team. And without Schwelly, they, from a pitching perspective, pitchers that they will or could still have next year. Robbie Ray, they will have at $16. He's a 19-point-per-game pitcher. Taj Bradley, $7. Well, he'll be $9. He's 2035. Yeah, 2035. So he'll be $9. 14-point-per-game pitcher. Senga on a 2026 contract, so they'll have him again next year. $24, 20 a game pitcher. Waka, $22 on a first, 14-point-per-game pitcher. Logan Webb, 35. Don't know if you'd keep him, but he's a 19-point-per-game pitcher.
I guess.
And then they got Hunter Green for 3 more years at an 18-point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, if I'm the Nats, who am I going to get a decent return for? Schwelly, right? I should get a decent return for him, and he's injured. So who the heck knows, right? What could happen? I get that. So that's my counter to what you just said from the Nationals' point of view. I think that's probably what they were thinking. We have 6 other pitchers. Let's get rid of the injured guy. Let's get someone who's going to help us win this year, and we'll throw a first in there so it helps us rebuild our future.
I totally get that. Like it's if we're going to lose this, we're gonna try to not handcuff ourselves. Correct. Totally understand that. One, the pick is so volatile, but 2, out of all those pitchers you mentioned, the only one that has upside is Green, and that's kind of the issue there, because we're talking I don't have a lot of faith in any of those pitchers to be better than the price they are currently at. Besides, Bradley at $7 is it's so low that it doesn't really matter.
Any return is good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
From a starting pitcher, at least.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as that's concerned, I totally get it, but I don't know. I guess it's better than having 0 points with Schwellenbach hurt on your bench.
Yeah.
Now, and you know what? Your team might not even be good that next year that we're talking about. So if I guess maybe I counter my own point, because if none of these guys have that much upside, then you better sell now and get something. That way you have these guys this year and go win that championship this year. Because you might not have that option again because none of these guys have real upside.
Well, and I'm really looking at that because it almost feels like the Nats are putting themselves in a similar position. Like if we had one season before the inaugural season of ABL, it feels like this would have been what the national season was, where they would have gone all in. They don't have really anything left, farm system, pick system. And then the next year, they have to essentially sell everything and just get one win so that they get all their picks back and all their young players back, et cetera. Because, they have, from a hitting perspective, lineup-wise, they're going to have some decent guys next year at decent prices still to keep. But I mean, they're not going to keep Judge right at 61. There's no way. Tatis at 40, we just said, I mean, probably not, right? They're going to lose Alonso. So you're sitting with Witt and Kwan, and then some other guys. I mean, does Jacob Wilson keep producing? Wells is a decent catcher. But outside of that, I mean, they don't have a ton of. I mean, Laureano at 30 years old, is he going to be a 3.0 player again next year? I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a few lightning in a bottle players that you probably need to capitalize on this year. Go
feels
for
like
it.
Their whole team is. Right? It feels like their whole team is. Like you just said, they're pitchers. I mean, Robbie Ray being a 19-point-per-game guy at 33 years old, having, one of the best seasons of his career.
Yeah, off of a couple injuries. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's net. I mean, great when healthy. Great when healthy. But, yeah, I guess it's a little more even than maybe at my first initial look at it. However, it seems like a tough get. So, Schwellenbach might just have his arm fall off like Strider. I have no idea.
Well, and Tom loves it too, right? We didn't even talk about really Tom's thoughts. Like, he gets Schwelly. Yeah. And if he gets a return on that, the trade's worth it.
Yep.
Because all of those assets don't really matter to him in any capacity for the most part. Nope. Right? He was going to get rid of Tatis. The first round pick he doesn't really need. Drew Jones, I'm assuming, didn't care about. Senga was on a 2026, but again, doesn't really care about it if he gets Schwelly back.
Get cheaper and better. Yeah.
So I think
longer.
From Tom's perspective, it makes a lot of sense.
But definitely one of the bigger splashes that we had. So that's why we kind of dwelled on it a little bit, because it was a big one. So
exactly. So I'm going to talk about the two we talked about pre pod here. So Mariners, Blue Jays, these are kind of they're fine trades. Mm-hmm. Josh and Gary and Jordan, Tom, and Greg, don't get mad at us for saying this, but they're the less impactful trades. So I think it's Agasawara. I'm assuming.
And I think it's Shinosuke.
Sure, that works. Josh moved him to Gary for $1, so Gary could get a start, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was Bachman going to Greg for a 5th round pick to the Nationals. I couldn't tell you what Bachman's done this year, so
Angels pitcher. I already know. So
yeah, go for it. Go for it. So that's all we have to say about those two. So the next bigger one we'll talk about, Matt Olson and a 3rd round pick going to the Cardinals for Ben Brown. This was probably my most intriguing trade. I mean, if you get rid of the big one obviously was intriguing, but this was probably my most intriguing trade. What are your thoughts?
Ben Brown's tough. I want to like Ben Brown. I think he's an okay pitcher, but man, he sucks. It's one of those things where it's like you should be good, and you're just not. So, but again, it's one of those cases where he's $3 at 2040 for a rental. Where are you going to get that many innings eventually? Yeah. And that's if the Cubs keep him in the rotation, if he can actually capitalize on his talent, and stick around. I mean, if not, they throw him in a long relief role, and you got to be pretty happy with that because again, long relievers are kind of hard to come by. Consistent ones that can kind of be a start, but not really. That's also pretty helpful. But again, I guess I don't know. It seems like Tom's definitely retooling for sure. Like he's getting these pitchers he can try to hold on to, younger talents that he can maybe build up a cheaper rotation. But yeah, I mean, it seems like Jeff got his guy here, so it's a big boost to that offense that doesn't need a boost. And it didn't take that much to get it, I don't think.
Yeah, absolute no-brainer for Jeff, right? Yeah. I think that, you make this trade 10 out of 10 times if you're in his position. But you're right. The reason
was the pick necessary?
Probably not. Probably not.
I thought the pick should go to Tom.
I agree. But it is what it is. Hey, Jeff doing his thing, right? Ben Brown's the intriguing part of this, and that's why I thought it was the most intriguing trade, because I look at a guy like Brown. And I'm not comparing him to Schwelly before I say this, but it's very clear that Tom had a strategy in going out and putting these guys in the market, right? And making these trades. He wanted younger, super cheap pitchers that had some risk, right? That he was willing to, or he was not willing, he was able to maybe get at a, I don't know, cheaper price than if they were, 19 point per game pitchers, right? Because if Brown turns into a 13, 14 point per game guy somehow, and Schwelly comes back and is a 20 point per game guy, these trades go to Tom in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he has $2-3 pitchers that he'll have for the next 5 years. That's crazy. But yeah, that's why it was so intriguing to me because, like you said, I don't know many people who look at Ben Brown and say, "Hell yeah."
Correct.
So that's why it was intriguing. But yeah, interesting to look at. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he can stay in the starter role, because I mean, he went from a reliever to a starter.
That's the key, right? That's the key.
He seems so risky of like easily could just be in AAA. I mean, he easily. So
yeah,
you gotta hold on to it. I mean, he's still like a good 10K per 9. You can't knock it, okay? But as far as the consistency, he will have some turd of games. That it's just like at one of these times he's just gonna run into it's just gonna be one too many. I worry, but I want Ben Brown to succeed. Like I said, I actually do like him. I do think he has the ability to be okay. I'm not saying he's gonna be a stud. I think for ABL he could be a stud and like 15, 16 points a game.
Yes,
in which at that price point, phenomenal. So that's where it's like this could definitely be a win for Tom, but he could just be DFA'd. You know, not DFA'd.
If he can lock down a fourth spot right in a rotation. I think that's a huge win.
Definitely.
Because he's probably not going anywhere then, right? They're going to give him a leash and he'll be good, right? Yep. So I think we're in agreement there. All right, let's move up to the Edman pick. Edman to the Brewers, and a 3rd round pick back to the Royals. Thoughts there?
I don't remember what Edman was initially traded for, but
2nd and a 3rd.
2nd and a 3rd. Okay, I figured you'd know. So
yes,
I mean, I guess not a horrible recouping of this. I don't know. It just seems like you just gave him up for free.
Yeah.
Which is like fair, I guess. And you get the pick. Fine. I don't know if Brandon's gonna keep that or not, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, he still has an asset for the future.
Yep.
I don't know. It definitely makes sense for the Brewers. Obviously, they need some
very much
depth. So. But I feel like Brendan definitely had to kind of maneuver around some money.
Yep.
You know, because when I was dealing with him, that's kind of what was happening. He was trying to make room. But I guess I was just surprised, you know, that was the asking price. I like purposely was like busting Brendan's balls and lowballed him, and he didn't go for it. But because I was like, just I'll give you a 5th for Edman. How about that? Is that good? Believe it or not, he didn't go for it. So fair enough. Yeah, I thought it was a interesting deal. I mean, it made sense for what he ended up doing, which is getting a pitcher. But I just thought the return, I guess, would be a little more.
Yeah, I completely agree because I look at Edman and even looking back at my conversations I had with him, the reason I was so adamant about at least getting a second was because he's 4 position eligible, playing for, depending on who you ask, the best team in baseball, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that is having someone who's going to be in the lineup of the best team in baseball 6 out of 7 days of the week, to me is very valuable. I understand he's $19. I paid $19 for that reason, right? Knowing that he was going to play, and at the time I traded him, he was like a 3.1 point per game guy. Mm-hmm. There aren't many 4 position eligible 3 point per game guys in the league, right? That you can just plug in who play for the Dodgers. So that was my rationale initially. Yeah, I think it is just later in the trade process. So not as many teams were willing to move as much, right?
Definitely. The market, I think it's sucked.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll
be very candid. I've put out two trade posts in the past 2 weeks or something like that. I've had 1 team contact me. That's how slow it is right now. And I think other people, and well, I guess I shouldn't say other people are feeling that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe people don't want to deal with me or they don't like my players. It could be any of that. But I think that's where we're getting to, right? Is either people don't have anything they want to trade anymore, or we're just at the point where people are just waiting until the last 2 days, and they're just like, how cheap can I get a guy for the last 2 weeks or whatever it might be? Yeah. So, which again I get. Everyone has their own reasons. Okay. Next 2 actually involve you. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about the Gaussman one first. Gaussman for Gage Stanifer and a 2nd round pick. What were kind of your thoughts behind this with Brendan? I know you mentioned it a little earlier.
Overall, okay. I mean, the market was not great. I think there was like 2 teams on Gaussman. Brendan was the only real serious team. So my options were super limited. And I kind of figured that when I put that out there, I just knew I wasn't going to get very many nibbles. Yep. So to get a 2nd round pick, I'm already recouping something I already gave up previously in the dump. I gave up that 2nd rounder, so I get it back. That's nice.
Which is great.
Basically, it's just me, like, I'm chasing my losses, which is a folly. but one I fall for every single time. That's why I don't gamble as much as I should. But Stanifer, I love his story, man. This guy's a legit Wild Thing Rick Vaughn story. He was atrocious last year, had horrible command, and over the offseason found out he has astigmatism, and they got him like contact lenses and glasses, the prescription, and now he's putting up like 15K per night,
killing it.
He's killing it. I'm like, that's no pop up to me.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that. That rocks. Even if he crashes and burns, I love that story. I'm all in on that. So
hell yeah.
I mean, I think there's decent upside there. Now that he can actually see, that helps. But you know, it didn't work for Jameis Winston. So even I don't know.
It did not at all, actually.
So we'll see how it pans out. But
yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean makes a lot of sense. Getting the pick obviously is great for you too to retool there. So I'll be very interested to see what the Angels look like come draft time next year. Should be fun. All right, the second one, obviously much bigger trade. You got Zach Gallen, Joey Meneses Diaz, $2 and a first. For Luke's, Schwarber, and Kershaw. My assumption is in your talks, this essentially came down to Schwarber for Gallen and a pick.
Yeah.
Am I right in assuming
the rest
that?
of it was just trying to maneuver his salary, and I was like, listen, if I'm going to take that stupid Diaz contract and take the penalty, I want the Fab to get prospects.
Hell yeah.
So that's basically how that all unfolded.
Yep.
Man, Sam is a chaotic guy to make a trade with. I haven't done it in a long time, and I forgot about it. I just forgot how insane. He'd be sending me offers. He just changes the deal on you. Just like, we didn't even come close to that. What are you talking about? And then before I can even respond back, he sends me another thing with a different offer that we definitely didn't talk about.
So Sam.
Dude, you got to calm down. I'm at work right now. I can't even keep up with this. This is crazy.
I love it.
So yeah.
That's ABL for you, right?
Yeah,
there.
we got it done though. It wasn't not the return that I really wanted. I mean, freaking Schwarber, guys. Come on. Give me a break here. Give me something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, casting a very shallow net. So it wasn't going to go well.
My assumption is it was tough with him too, because I know his minors have kind of taken a hit a little bit. There isn't a ton necessarily, not a whole lot of meat on the bone. So that's tough too.
I don't know. His approach to prospects is basically just like, I don't know, get them from somebody else pretty much. So, which is fair. Yeah. But, it's not like a pool that I really want to swim in. So I kind of just left it alone overall and just said, give me the pick.
Yep.
It seemed like the easiest option. And again, I gave up the first round pick as well. I give it.
Correct.
So I'm getting that back for my horrible sins I've committed by doing this whole thing. So we're slowly bringing it back.
Hey, I think the thing is though, you had, again, as we have talked about many times, you had to try, right? And in where your division was at this year, no reason not to at least try. Now you go back, lick your wounds a little bit, and then you retool, right? You do things different next year, etc. So that's what it is. This is a long game,
definitely,
right? Not short term. That's for sure. All right, next one, Cubs and Rays. Cubs sent. I know Frank had put out that message. He wanted to move a guy or two. So Bohm and a second go to the Rays, and then a second and a third go to the Cubs. And it looks like, well, I guess we don't know. The 2027 Cubs pick we don't know much about, but the 2026 round 2 should be a decently high pick because it's Baltimore. And then the third, Blue Jays, should also be relatively high. So thoughts on that one?
Well, the Bohm part was interesting because it seemed like a salary dump because I don't think you'd be keeping. I don't think you'd be keeping that.
Wouldn't think
but
so.
Then there wasn't a Cubs move to go with that. So, because it seemed like an Edmund type trade. You know, where it's like I'll make this deal, and so I don't know what Kevin's plan is for Bohm. I mean 2.74 a game at $26. Granted, first and third. I mean, it's certainly an option. I mean, I think Bohm was better than that last year, so maybe just believes in that. But I guess you do a pick swap. I don't know. It's kind of an odd trade. I don't really get it. But,
I'd love to know what Kevin thinks of Bohm if he just saw an opportunity at maybe it's a positional thing, you know, something he didn't want to he didn't want to worry about first base next year or something. I don't know.
It probably hinges on that mainly, but then you really you have to keep Bohm.
Yeah. Well, and maybe he saw it as like, okay, I don't, he's extendable, so I don't have to keep him for more than a year.
Yep.
Right. Like I don't want to say that it's impossible, but there's no way he doesn't keep Bohm, right? Like you don't make this trade and not keep
exactly
him, right?
Yes.
I mean, you are doing this to keep him. So my assumption is maybe he extends him a year, right? And is like, all right, I have my first/third baseman for next year. It's $28. It's not going to be terrible. Hopefully, Bohm has a resurgent year. I can maybe flip him at the deadline. Whatever it might be. Who knows? But yeah, interesting for sure. I agree. Next one here also included you and Tom. So you just got Gallen and then sent him away. Literally, you got Gallen at 12:22 p.m. and you traded him away at 1:26. So just over an hour.
We do.
It's great. Gallen
Took
probably
my
didn't
lunch
even
break to reassess. Came back to work.
He probably wasn't even on the flight, right? Like he probably just got told in Texas, and he's like, "Yeah."
When I acquired him and said, "Hey, welcome to the Angels," I said, "Okay, but don't just sit there. Just don't even call your wife. Just don't even tell her you got traded. I'll be sending you somewhere else shortly."
So what was your thought process here, getting rid of Gallen for?
I didn't really have to try. I was approached on it, and I was like, might as well just get some more picks while we're at it here for a couple of different years. Again, like I said, I give up a fair amount of picks in my dealings, so I'm getting that back. And then the McRae thing was like, he's kind of a fringy guy doing okay in AAA.
Yep.
I mean, $3, 20-40. Who knows? He's an okay prospect. I can easily just do away with him. So I was like, fine, I'll take it.
Interesting. Okay, so for you,
than nothing.
For you, it was more of just dumping Gallen. There wasn't any part of you that wanted to keep Gallen in any way.
I don't think Gallen's keepable at that price in any way.
Okay.
I might be way off on that. Maybe if he was old Zach Gallen, definitely, 100%. But
why do you think? I mean, did and I don't know if you want to share this at all, but why did Tom want him? Was there like he approached you? Was there?
Well, he's still usable this year. I mean, like you could if he needs a pitcher.
Yeah.
I totally get getting a guy like Gallen for a run basically, but. I will say, I don't think Gallen's. I could be way off on. Maybe my assessment of him is way off.
He's at 12.3.
Yeah, 28 for 12.3. I can get Miles Michaelis for that.
Yeah, he's gonna be 30 next year. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. He was sub 15 last year too.
Right. So I don't think it's keepable. Personally, it was a rental in my mind, and Sammy even said you can just flip Gallen later in the deal. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's very fair.
Yeah.
Did not think it was going to be that soon.
Yeah, but, no kidding.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, again, honestly, maybe it's another, who were we just talking about? Maybe it's another Bohm story where it's like, he's like, hey, I'll maybe get him for a year and hope that I get a good Gallen, right? And I don't have to give up anything for him, essentially. Or I don't want to say anything, not that you didn't get a return, but not anything crazy.
No,
right?
Definitely not. No.
For a pitcher like that.
A peak of 20 points a game is pretty sweet.
Yeah, very much
but so. I think that's in the rear view.
Yeah, very much so. All right, last one. Just happened today. We had Aranda go for Crooks and a first-round pick. Gary starting to make some moves. Thoughts there?
I think it's fair. I think it's a fair deal. Trader Gary's back on the grind set here, which is nice to see. But no, I think Aranda's a good long-term value hold, and if you get back a first-round pick, you can't knock it. That could be absolutely anything. Yep. Although it being a Nationals pick kind of sucks. I mean,
I think that's probably why you do it though, as Rourke, right? Like you are willing to move because like I look at Aranda. I think he's second base eligible and just over 3 points a game, maybe I think is what I was looking at.
I'll tell you
when I saw him something like that, and so which is good, right?
Yeah, 3.22 a game. I mean,
definitely,
you're holding that.
Yeah, so I mean, is he's on a 2028 too? So I mean, it's a long-term contract, right? So I guess if you're Rourke, you look at Aranda and you're like, all right, I can lock in my first or second baseman for 3 years.
Yep.
Right? I mean, like I'm willing to give up a first for that too, right? If you feel that way. So I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it's that bad. Aranda probably isn't an upper first round type player, right? But being able to give what could probably be the last pick of the first round for him, I don't see any issue with that. I'll be honest with you, I have no clue who Jimmy Crooks is, so you can inform me who
Jimmy Crooks kind of rocks. I don't know. There's too many freaking Cardinals catchers. I'll say that much, which is kind of the downfall here. I don't even know we just keep getting catchers. I don't understand where these guys keep coming from. They just keep popping up out of the ground. But I mean, Crooks was a lot better last year, but he's in Memphis now, so that's it's good. I mean,
what matters.
He's 23 in Memphis. I'm okay. I got pulled up right now. 761 OPS, not what you love to see, to be honest. Just a little bit of pop in the bat. It looks like he's on pace to have a little more homers than last year. But I mean, the OPS number kind of fallen off. I get it. I mean, you've gone up a level. AAA is a little bit harder. But I mean, a 908 OPS in Springfield last year. That's pretty nice. I mean,
that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so he's around. He's
around, but I mean, he's a freaking Cardinal. I don't understand what his role is going to be. I could dwell on this for a good long while. But it's like you got Pozo, Herrera. Where the hell is this guy going to fit in? Honestly, so I don't know. I don't get it. As far as I don't get Crooks. I mean, he can just go. I mean, I don't know. He's fine. I just don't think he belongs here.
Yeah. I got you.
But that's my only thing on him, to be fair.
All right, fair enough. Well, yeah, that's it for the dump 2.0. Anything else you wanted to add on that before we move to next week or this week?
No, I think we went in depth.
All right, I love it. You want to kick it off? Why don't you just do all three of yours, and I'll look through and pick some out because I haven't picked out any. So go for it.
I think let's see. Tier list said that this is gonna be the World Series matchup a couple months ago. So we got the Nationals versus Royals. It's a must watch. Over in the AL West, we got the Mariners taking on a couple of teams that are trying to vie for those last wild card spots versus the Guardians and the White Sox. And I would say probably. I mean. No, this is definitely not game of the week. We just did the game of the week. But I think Pittsburgh versus Detroit's a huge matchup, not for the Detroit side of things, but mainly for the Pirates side of things. Pirates they need a 3-0 week for sure after whatever happened last week, because Cubs and Cardinals will definitely go 3-0. They have very easy weeks, and they're the Cubs and the Cardinals. So that kind of 50-50 coin flip there that we have with the Tigers and Pirates, that's got to go in Duke's favor to keep himself ahead of things here.
Yeah, I agree, especially because, I mean, obviously John's going to come out swinging. He needs those wins to catch up to Brendan. So
yep, absolutely.
Just looking through for me, those are honestly probably some of the better games. I'm looking for like some maybe lower end matchups that might be good. I mean, Padres Tigers isn't terrible, just to see where Greg's team kind of stands up. Who else we got here? Are there any kind of good low end matchups? God, I play all good teams this week, so I'm gonna get smoked. I don't know. I don't see any other low end matchups.
Yeah, it was kind of a lame slate.
They're kind of standing out here.
I mean, Rangers White Sox is the same spot as the Mariners would be in. So
and Houston Tampa actually is kind of a good matchup, just from playoff perspective.
It's definitely fringy. I mean, if the Guardians fall off in any way, those two teams will be right there to kind of pick up the pieces.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
So yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Okay, cool. All right, man. Anything else you got for this week?
No, that's absolutely everything.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone watching and tuning in. Hope everyone has a great week. We won't be back next week. Correct, because we got All-Star breaks, there won't be anything to really talk about. Correct.
So I mean, I assume it's we got a 2-weeker here.
Right? Yeah, so we'll go. I mean, I guess week and a half technically.
Yeah.
So we'll be back.
Ends 27th. Scoring period ends 27th. Yep.
So we'll be back the 28th. With our next episode. So
sweet.
Have a great week and a half, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you in the Discord. See you, everyone.
See ya.
Later.